Hello everyone, welcome to the team. Today we're going to talk about something incredibly important. It's the very heart of the medicines we make. We call it the active pharmaceutical ingredient, or API for short. Now, what does that mean? Think about a chocolate chip cookie. The cookie has flour, sugar, and butter, but the part you really want is the chocolate chip, right? The chocolate chip is what makes it a chocolate chip cookie. In a medicine, the API is like that chocolate chip. It's the special ingredient that actually does the work in your body to help you feel better. It's the part that fights the infection, lowers your blood pressure, or helps with your headache. It's the science part that makes the medicine, well, medicine. The other parts of a pill or a liquid medicine are called excipients. These are things like binders that hold a pill together, or flavorings that make a liquid medicine easier to swallow. They are very important, but they don't have the therapeutic effect. The API is the star of the show. Because this one ingredient is so powerful and so important for a person's health, we have to make sure it is incredibly safe and pure. Our job is to ensure that every single batch of API we produce is of the highest possible quality. We're not just making chemicals in a lab, we are creating the fundamental building block of a treatment that someone, a grandparent, a parent, or a child, will rely on to get well. This brings us to a very serious point: safety. Imagine if that chocolate chip in your cookie accidentally had a tiny piece of a peanut in it, and you were allergic to peanuts. That would be a very big problem. It's the same with our APIs, but the consequences can be much more serious. An unsafe API could not only fail to help someone, but it could actually harm them. This is why our work is governed by so many rules and procedures. These rules aren't here to make our lives difficult, they are here to protect the lives of the patients who will one day use the medicines we help create. Every step we take, every measurement we make is all part of a promise we make to the public, that our products are safe and effective. So, as we dive into the world of making APIs, I want you to keep that image in your mind. Think of the people we are helping. Our commitment to quality is a direct commitment to their health and well-being. It's a huge responsibility, but it's also an amazing opportunity to make a real difference in the world. Every day you come to work, you are a crucial part of a chain of trust that begins right here in our facility and ends with a patient feeling better. That's a pretty cool job if you ask me. Let's explore how we make sure we get it right, every single time. Consider this. So, how do we make sure our APIs are super safe? We use a powerful tool called quality risk assessment. That might sound like a complicated phrase, but let's break it down. Quality is about making sure our product is exactly what it's supposed to be: pure, effective, and safe. Risk means thinking about what could possibly go wrong. And assessment is just a fancy word for looking closely at those risks and figuring out how serious they are and how likely they are to happen. So, quality risk assessment is simply the science of looking ahead, identifying potential problems before they occur, and making a plan to stop them. It's like being a detective for quality. Think about it like planning a big camping trip. You'd think about risks, right? What if it rains? You'd pack a raincoat and a tent. What if you get lost? You'd bring a map and a compass. What if you run out of food? You'd pack extra snacks. In our work, we do the exact same thing, but instead of rain and bears, we're thinking about things that could affect the quality of our API. We ask questions like, what could happen if this piece of equipment isn't perfectly clean? Or, what is the risk if the temperature in this reactor is off by 1 degree? It's a systematic way of being prepared for anything and everything. This process isn't just a one-time thing, it's a continuous cycle. We identify a potential risk, we analyze how bad it could be, and we figure out how to control it. For instance, we might identify the risk of a power outage affecting a temperature-sensitive reaction. We would analyze the potential impact. It could ruin the entire batch of API. So we put a control in place, like having a backup generator. Then we constantly review our process. Is the generator working? Is there a better way to control the temperature? We are always learning, always improving, and always trying to make our processes even safer and more robust. Ultimately, quality risk assessment is about being proactive, not reactive. We don't want to wait for a problem to happen and then clean up the mess. That's too late, especially when people's health is on the line. Instead, we use science, data, and our collective brain power to build a fortress of quality around our manufacturing process. Every procedure we follow, every form we fill out, and every check we perform is a direct result of this careful and deliberate thinking. It's how we ensure that the only thing a patient receives is the safe, effective medicine they need. It's science in action, folks. Now let's talk about one of the biggest risks we face: contamination. It's a simple word with a very serious meaning in our world. Contamination is when something unwanted gets into our API. It could be anything that isn't supposed to be there. Think about making a giant pot of pure, delicious chicken soup. Contamination would be like accidentally dropping a dirty sock into the pot. Yuck. No one would want to eat that soup, and it certainly wouldn't be good for them. The sock is a contaminant because it doesn't belong there, and it makes the soup impure and unsafe. That's exactly what we want to prevent from ever happening to our APIs. In our manufacturing environment, contaminants can come from many different places. They can be tiny particles of dust from the air, microscopic fibers from a piece of clothing, or even residue from a cleaning agent that wasn't rinsed away properly. Sometimes the contaminant can be a microorganism, like bacteria or mold. These little critters are everywhere in the world around us, but they absolutely cannot be in our sterile products. Even a very small amount of contamination can have a huge impact. It could make the medicine less effective, or worse, it could cause an unexpected and harmful reaction in a patient's body. Let's consider another example. Imagine you are a baker, famous for your gluten-free bread. If even a tiny bit of regular wheat flour gets into your gluten-free dough, the bread is no longer safe for someone with celiac disease. The wheat flour is a contaminant in this context. In our work, we might be making an API that is very sensitive to moisture. If the air in the room is too humid, water molecules can act as a contaminant, potentially causing the API to break down and become useless. This is why we control our manufacturing environment so carefully, monitoring everything from the air quality to the humidity levels. So, a huge part of our job is to be vigilant guardians against contamination. We wear special gowns, gloves, and masks not as a fashion statement, but to prevent particles from our bodies and clothes from getting into the product. We use highly filtered air systems to keep the manufacturing areas pristine. We use specialized, high-purity raw materials. Every action is designed to protect the purity of our API. We are on a constant mission to ensure that the only thing in our final product is the active pharmaceutical ingredient itself, pure and simple. It's a battle against the unwanted, and it's a battle we must win every day. There's a specific type of contamination that is so important, it gets its own special name, cross-contamination. This happens when traces of one medicine accidentally get into a different medicine. This is a major concern for us because we often make many different types of APIs in the same facility, sometimes even using the same equipment. It's like using a peanut butter knife to scoop out jelly from the jar. Now you have peanut butter in your jelly. For someone with a peanut allergy, that jelly is now dangerous. In our work, the consequences of this kind of mix-up are incredibly serious. Imagine we just finished making a batch of a very potent hormone-based API. Then, in the same reactor, we are scheduled to make an API for a common antibiotic. If even a microscopic invisible trace of that hormone is left behind in the equipment, it will get mixed into the antibiotic. A patient taking that antibiotic could then experience unintended hormonal effects, which could be very harmful. This is why cross-contamination is one of the biggest risks we have to manage. We have to ensure that every single molecule of the previous product is gone before we start making the next one. It's a challenge of absolute total separation. How do we prevent this? We have several layers of defense. First, whenever possible, we use dedicated equipment or even dedicated facilities for certain types of products, especially highly potent ones. This is like having a separate knife just for the peanut butter and another one just for the jelly. For equipment that must be shared, we have extremely rigorous and scientifically validated cleaning procedures. We don't just rinse it out, we perform a deep, multi-step cleaning process, and then we test the equipment to prove it is clean. We actually swab the surfaces and analyze those swabs to make sure there is no detectable residue left. This is also where planning and scheduling become critical. We carefully plan our production campaigns to minimize risk. For example, we might make a less potent product before a more potent one. We also think about the cleanability of our products. Some materials are stickier and harder to clean than others, So we might run those products at the end of a campaign, right before a scheduled deep clean of the entire system. Preventing cross-contamination is a complex puzzle that involves facility design, equipment selection, meticulous cleaning, and smart scheduling. It's all part of our commitment to ensuring that the only API in the bottle is the one on the label. We've talked about contamination and cross-contamination, so now let's talk about our number one weapon against them, cleaning. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of cleaning you do at home with a sponge and some soap. The cleaning we do here is a highly controlled, scientifically designed process. It is one of the most critical activities that happens in our entire facility. An improperly cleaned piece of equipment can ruin an entire multi-million-dollar batch of API and, more importantly, put patients at risk. So when we talk about cleaning, we are talking about a fundamental step in ensuring quality and safety. It's not just about looking clean, it has to be analytically, microscopically clean. Think of a surgeon preparing for an operation. They don't just quickly rinse their hands. They follow a very specific, timed scrubbing procedure using special soaps to ensure every last germ is gone before they enter the operating room. We treat our equipment cleaning with that same level of seriousness and precision. Every cleaning procedure is carefully developed and validated. That means we've done scientific studies to prove that our specific cleaning method, using a certain cleaning agent for a certain amount of time at a certain temperature, is effective at removing every trace of the previous product and any cleaning agents used. Our cleaning records are just as important as our manufacturing records. For every piece of equipment that is cleaned, we document who cleaned it, when they cleaned it, what procedure they followed, and the results of any tests we did to confirm it was clean. This creates a chain of accountability and a verifiable record that the equipment was ready for use. If there was ever a question about a batch of medicine, we could go back and look at the cleaning records for every piece of equipment involved. This documentation isn't just paperwork. It's proof that we are following our own rules and safeguarding our products. This meticulous approach is what gives us confidence to start a new batch. Before we add a single gram of raw material to a reactor, we have to be absolutely certain that it is perfectly clean. This is a non-negotiable step. It protects the integrity of the product we are about to make from cross-contamination, and it protects it from contamination by cleaning agents or microbes. So, the next time you see a cleaning procedure in action, remember that you are watching a critical scientific process. You are watching one of the most important ways we uphold our promise of safety and quality to the people who depend on our medicines. Now, having great cleaning procedures and smart people is fantastic, but how do we make sure everything happens the right way every single time, day after day? That's where good operations management comes in. Think of our manufacturing facility as a giant, complex orchestra. We have many different musicians or departments all playing their part. Operations management is the conductor. The conductor's job is to make sure everyone has the right sheet music, knows when to play, and that everyone plays together in harmony to create a beautiful symphony. Without the conductor, you'd just have a bunch of noise. In our world, that noise could be a very costly mistake. Good management is all about creating strong, clear systems. One of the most important systems we have is our set of standard operating procedures, or SOPs. An SOP is like a recipe for a task. It tells you exactly what to do, step by step, to complete a job correctly and safely. Whether it's how to operate a piece of machinery, how to clean a specific vessel, or how to label a container, there is an SOP for it. This ensures that everyone performs the task in the exact same way, every time. This consistency is the secret ingredient to repeatable quality. It removes guesswork and minimizes the chance of human error. Another key part of operations management is what we call change control. This sounds technical, but it's a simple idea. If we want to change anything, a raw material supplier, a piece of equipment, or a step in the manufacturing process, we can't just do it on a whim. We have to manage that change carefully. We use the change control system to study the potential impact of the change on the quality of our product. We ask, what risks does this change introduce? And what testing do we need to do to prove the change is okay? This prevents unintended consequences and ensures our process remains robust and under control. Finally, a well-managed operation has a system for what to do when things do go wrong. This is called deviation management. No system is perfect, and sometimes we might deviate from a procedure. When this happens, we don't just ignore it. We document it immediately, investigate why it happened, and assess the impact on the product. Most importantly, we figure out a corrective and preventive action, what we call a CAPA, to make sure it doesn't happen again. This culture of transparency and continuous improvement, driven by strong management systems, is what keeps our complex orchestra playing a symphony of safety and quality. We can have the best equipment in the world and the most brilliant procedures ever written, but they are useless without well-trained people to execute them. That's you. That's all of us. Staff training is the critical link that connects our quality systems to the real world of manufacturing. It's about making sure that every single person in this facility not only knows what to do, but also why they are doing it. Understanding the why is incredibly powerful. When you understand that a specific step is designed to prevent cross-contamination, you're much more likely to perform it with the care and attention it deserves. Training is not a one-time event where you just read a book and sign a form. It's an ongoing process. We have initial training to get you up to speed on your specific job, the equipment you'll use, and the procedures you'll follow. But it doesn't stop there. Whenever a procedure is updated or new equipment is introduced, we conduct more training. We also have regular refresher training on important topics like safety procedures and good documentation practices. This continuous learning ensures that our skills stay sharp and our knowledge remains current with the latest standards and regulations. Effective training uses many different methods. You might read an SOP, watch a demonstration from an experienced colleague, and then perform the task yourself under supervision. This read-see-do approach helps solidify the knowledge in your mind. We also have assessments or qualifications to verify that you understand the training and can perform the job competently. This isn't like a test in school to get a grade. It's a way for us and for you to be confident that you have the skills needed to perform your job safely and correctly. It's a confirmation of competence that is essential in our industry. Ultimately, training empowers you. It gives you the knowledge and skills to do your job well and to be a guardian of quality. A well-trained workforce is more engaged, more likely to spot potential problems, and more likely to suggest improvements. When everyone understands their role and the importance of quality, we create a powerful collective culture of responsibility. Every person becomes a checkpoint for quality. Your eyes, your hands, and your brain are some of the most valuable quality control tools we have. And it all starts with great training. By now, you've seen that ensuring the quality of our APIs isn't about one single thing. It's about many different elements all working together in perfect harmony. It's like building a very strong chain. The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Our quality system is that chain, and each link, risk assessment, contamination control, cleaning, management, and training, is absolutely vital. If one link fails, the entire chain can break, and the safety of our product could be compromised. That's why we pay so much attention to every single detail, making sure every link is as strong as it can possibly be. Let's trace the journey. It starts with quality risk assessment, where we use our scientific minds to proactively think about what could go wrong. This is the blueprint for our safety strategy. This blueprint then informs how we design our facility and our processes to prevent contamination and cross-contamination. We build clean rooms, install advanced air filtration systems, and create dedicated zones to keep products separate. We are building the fortress of quality before the first raw material even arrives at our door. It's a proactive approach that sets the stage for success and minimizes surprises down the road. Then, our well-managed operations, guided by clear SOPs, bring that blueprint to life. The operations management systems are like the nervous system of the facility, coordinating all the actions and ensuring everything happens in the right order and at the right time. Our critical cleaning procedures are executed flawlessly, like a well-rehearsed dance, ensuring our equipment is pristine and ready for the next step. Every action is deliberate, controlled, and documented. This systematic execution is what turns our quality plans into a tangible reality, batch after successful batch. It is the disciplined application of our scientific principles. And at the very center of it all is our team of highly trained people. You are the ones who follow the procedures, perform the cleaning, operate the equipment, and document the results. Your knowledge, skill, and commitment are what make the entire system work. Each individual's contribution, from the person receiving raw materials to the chemist testing the final product, comes together to form a powerful, unified effort. It is this combination, smart planning, robust processes, and dedicated people, that creates the symphony of safety, ensuring every batch of API we produce is pure, safe, and effective. So, there you have it. We've journeyed through the world of active pharmaceutical ingredients, from understanding what they are to exploring the many layers of protection we build around them. We've seen that making safe medicine isn't magic. It's science, diligence, and a profound sense of responsibility. It's about understanding the risks, like contamination and cross-contamination, and using powerful tools like validated cleaning, strong operational controls, and continuous training to manage them effectively. Every single step is a deliberate act of quality assurance designed to protect the patient. Our work here is more than just a job. It is a promise. It is a promise to doctors and nurses that the medicines they prescribe will work as intended. It is a promise to pharmacists that the products on their shelves are safe and of the highest quality. Most importantly, it is a promise to patients, people we may never meet, that they can trust what we make. They trust us with their health, and in some cases, with their lives. This is a sacred trust that we must earn every single day through our unwavering commitment to quality in everything we do. As you begin your career here, I want you to carry this perspective with you. Every time you follow an SOP, every time you double-check a label, every time you meticulously clean a piece of equipment, you are upholding that promise. You are an essential guardian of public health. The work can be demanding, and the standards are incredibly high, but that's because the stakes are even higher. What we do here matters immensely. It has a real, tangible, and positive impact on the world, helping people live longer, healthier, and better lives. Welcome to the team. I am so glad you are here to join us in this important mission. Your dedication, your attention to detail, and your commitment to quality are now part of our story. Together, we will continue to use the power of science to create the safe and effective medicines that people around the world rely on. Let's get to work and make a difference. The world is waiting, and we have a promise to keep. Consider this. You are now a part of creating a healthier tomorrow. How cool is that?